how UK's economic collapse is affecting real estate. The current economic situation in the UK has been a source of concern for many people, and it's easy to see why. The economic collapse that the UK has experienced has had a major impact on many aspects of life, and the real estate market is no exception. In this video, we will delve into the events that led into the economic collapse, how it has affected the real estate market, and some potential solutions that could help alleviate the negative effects. We will begin by looking at the history of the economic collapse and the factors that contributed to it. From there, we will examine how the real estate market has been impacted, including decreases in property values, difficulties in obtaining mortgages, and a decrease in demand for properties. Finally, we will explore some potential solutions that could help the real estate market recover, including government intervention, alternative financing options, and market adjustments. So let's get started. To fully grasp the current economic situation in the UK, it is essential to understand the events that led up to it. The economic collapse that the UK has experienced can be traced back to the global financial crisis of 2007-2008, which had a profound impact on the world economy. The crisis was sparked by the collapse of the housing market in the United States, and its consequences were felt around the globe. The housing market in the U.S. was heavily reliant on subprime mortgages, which are loans given to borrowers with poor credit histories. When the housing market began to decline, many of these borrowers defaulted on their mortgages, leading to a cascade of events that ultimately resulted in the collapse of major financial institutions and the global financial crisis. This crisis had a ripple effect on economies around the world, including the UK, and set the stage for the economic challenges that the country has faced in years since. In the face of the global financial crisis, the UK government took many steps to try to mitigate the damage. One of the most significant measures it took was to provide bailouts for struggling banks. This involved injecting capital into the banks to help them weather the crisis and prevent their collapse. The government also implemented a stimulus package designed to boost the economy and stimulate spending. This included measures such as tax cuts and increased government spending on infrastructure projects. Despite these efforts, the UK was still hit hard by the crisis and entered into a recession. A recession is defined as a period of economic decline, typically marked by a decrease in GDP, a rise in employment, and a decline in business activity. After the global financial crisis, the UK did experience a period of recovery. This was helped by the various measures taken by the government and by an upturn in the global economy. However, this recovery was short-lived, and the UK soon faced a new economic challenge: Brexit. The UK voted to leave the European Union in 2016, a decision that had significant economic consequences. The process of negotiating and eventually leaving the EU, known as Brexit, has been a long and complex one. It has involved negotiating the terms of UK's departure, including issues such as trade, immigration, and the future relationship between the UK and the EU. This process has contributed to economic uncertainty as businesses and individuals have struggled to understand how it will affect them and what the future holds. Brexit has also hurt the UK's economic growth. The uncertainty surrounding the process has made it difficult for businesses to make long-term plans, leading to a slowdown in investment and economic activity. Additionally, the UK's departure from the EU has resulted in increased tariffs on certain goods and services, which has hurt exports and further slowed economic growth. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2020, has only exacerbated the economic challenges facing the UK. The pandemic has resulted in widespread business closures and job losses, as governments around the world would have implemented measures such as lockdowns and social distancing to slow the spread of the virus. These measures have led to a significant decrease in consumer spending and economic activity, as people have been unable to go out and shop or participate in activities that they normally would. The impact of the pandemic on the economy has been severe, with many businesses struggling to stay afloat and many people losing their jobs. This has had a ripple effect on many sectors of the economy, including the real estate market, which we will discuss further in the next section. The pandemic has also put a strain on the government, as it has to provide financial assistance to individuals and businesses affected by the crisis. This has led to an increase in government debt and has further added to the economic challenges facing the UK. So, how has all of this affected the real estate market in UK? One of the most significant effects has been a decrease in property values. The economic uncertainty caused by the financial crisis, Brexit, and the pandemic has led to a decrease in demand for properties, which has in turn caused a decrease in prices. This has made it more difficult for individuals and families to afford to purchase a home, particularly in more expensive areas. Obtaining a mortgage in Britain has become increasingly difficult in recent years due to part of the more stringent leading criteria that lenders have put in place. In the aftermath of the financial crisis, lenders have become more cautious about who they lend to and have implemented higher requirements for borrowers. This includes things like higher credit score requirements and larger down payments. These stricter lending criteria have made it harder for individuals, especially those with less than perfect credit, to secure financing to purchase a property. The difficulty in obtaining a mortgage has had many consequences for the real estate market. It has made it more challenging for individuals and families to enter the housing market, especially first-time homebuyers. It has also contributed to the decrease in demand for properties, as people are less likely to try and buy a home if they believe they won't be able to secure financing. The decrease in demand, in turn, has led to a decrease in property values and has harmed the overall real estate market. The economic challenges facing the UK and the impact they have on the real estate market have left many people wondering what can be done to address the issues and help the market recover. One possible solution is government intervention. The government, led by Rishi Sunak, could implement policies designed to stimulate the economy and make it easier for individuals to obtain financing to purchase a home. One way the government could do this is by providing low-interest loans or grants to first-time homebuyers. These type of programs could help individuals who may not have the means to afford a down payment or who have less than perfect credit get their foot in the door to the housing market. The government could also consider implementing tax incentives or other financial incentives to encourage people to buy homes, which could help boost demand and drive up property values. Other possible government interventions could include initiatives to stimulate growth and increase wages, which would give people the financial stability they need to make large purchases like buying a home. The government could also consider implementing policies that make it easier for people to obtain financing, such as relaxing credit score requirements or lowering down payment requirements. All of these measures could help the real estate market recover and make it easier for individuals and families to enter the housing market. Alternative financing options could be explored. For example, some individuals and families may be able to turn to private lenders or crowdfunding platforms to secure financing for a home purchase. While these options may come with higher interest rates, they can provide a viable alternative for those who are unable to obtain a traditional mortgage. As the UK continues to grapple with the economic challenges it's facing, the real estate market will likely need to adjust to this new reality. This could involve a shift in the types of properties that are in demand, as well as change in the way that properties are being bought and sold. One potential shift could be towards more affordable housing options. With property values decreasing in recent years and many people struggling to afford the cost of home ownership, there may be an increased demand for more affordable housing options. This could include things like smaller homes, apartments, or townhomes. Developers and builders may need to consider building more of these types of properties to meet this demand. Another potential shift could be towards rental properties rather than ownership. With people uncertain about their financial futures, there may be an increased interest in renting rather than buying. This could lead to an increase in demand for rental properties and a shift away from home ownership. Finally, the real estate market may need to adapt to the use of more virtual or online tools. With the COVID-19 pandemic making in-person interactions more difficult, there has been an increase in the use of online platforms for things like virtual tours and online transactions. This trend is likely to continue, and the real estate market may need to adapt to these changes in order to meet the needs of consumers. Thanks for staying tuned. Hope this video helped you understand the current scenario of UK's real estate better.